Good afternoon, good early evening, everybody. Dr. Breggy, your superintendent, and I'm so proud and honored to welcome you today to our science fair, our science and engineering fair, the awards presentation, and how exciting that we are still able to pull off of this type of programming in a virtual environment. And I just want to thank so many people. We could not have done this without BHEF. And to continue our welcomes, and before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce you to Farah Dodis, the president of BHEF, who provides so much to our schools all year round, and she is really awesome to work with. She's got a whole staff that is just, we're so fortunate to be able to work with, and she will take it over and continue with some welcomes and some thank yous. Farah?
Thanks, Dr. Breggy. Welcome, everyone. BHF, we're so thrilled to sponsor the BHUSD Science Fair again this year. We really work to promote programs like these to expand upon our kids' experiences and to help them take them to the next level. So just to give you a little introduction, we don't do this just for science, but we also do a whole host of other academic, arts, and athletic disciplines. And the way I like to put it is basically, you name it, we fund it to some degree or another. So if you're able, if you want to help us support these programs, you can help us out at bhef.org. But more importantly, the real...
Can we Venmo you directly, Farah?
You could, and I could, you know, I'll make
right,
that
I guess
work.
It's not kosher. All right, I'll go through the website then.
No, it's true. It's true. Let's not, you know, we're not going to go there. But thanks for the, you know, the vote of confidence, Nathan. But anyway, more importantly, I just want to say I've watched this science fair committee for the past several years, and I'm always amazed by all the work that you do, you guys. It's clear that it's a real labor of love, and it's a testament to your determination to inspire the next generation of curious, thoughtful, and critical thinkers. Yes, I had to write that out because I can't at all. But anyway, you guys are amazing. So I want to give you a wholehearted thank you. Dr. Michelle Kalt, Susan Kimura, Nathan Kruger, Jen Pedersen, Tina Weiner. I'm skipping over a couple because I really want to highlight the addition of these two members this year at the district personnel. Dustin and Samantha, the committee has sung your praises. They've basically shouted it from the mountaintops. They're so thankful for all your help this year with the organizing and the running of the science fair, especially in this virtual format. It sounds like you guys just went really above and beyond. And so I want to humbly thank you for all that you've done and all that you continue to do. Dustin,
we got to do clappy hands.
Oh, clappy hands, Dustin Seaman and Samantha Thornton.
There we go, clappy hands. I accidentally hit cry.
It's okay. Well, you know what? It could cause you to cry, the emotion.
It's applause to tears.
It is. And then finally, sorry, I'm getting off here. You can give me the hook. I want to thank all the judges that volunteered their time. We really, really couldn't have done this without you. It was so thoughtful, and just we are so thankful that you volunteered to judge the students' experiments. So thank you, everyone. I'm just going to let everyone's name go by. And I'm going to throw it to you, Nathan, with your cry face.
Comic relief. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Before we get started, so we're gonna make this actually pretty quick. This is not an hour and a half a Google Classroom that I'm sure all of you students want to end. So what we're gonna do probably by 4:30 we'll be all done, and we're gonna go through 6th, 7th, 8th, and high school, the winners. But before we do, I just want to highlight the purpose of the science fair is really to get everybody out of the textbook and thinking out of the box and coming up with their own original ideas. And so I think this current iteration of the science fair, we started in 2015. So it's great that 5 or 6 years later, it's becoming integral to the culture of Beverly Hills. And I appreciate Dustin and Samantha for really pushing this on. Without administrative engagement, this can't happen. So outside of the Beverly Hills Science Fair, the goal here is then to take your project and move on up. The goal is to have an awesome Beverly Hills team that goes on to LA County. and you compete in LA County. And what's great about LA County is they actually pay cash or checks. I think that in the past we've given prizes and whatnot, but LA County is where you can win real cash for your projects, which is always fun. And then you can move on to the state, and we've had actually students move on to the nationals, which is pretty exciting. So we'll see how that goes. So I guess why don't we move on into our awards? So we're going to start with 6th grade. These are our 6th grade participants. And by the way, you guys, I really appreciate that you guys stepped up outside of your classwork and put together a project extracurricularly. I think it's hard for everybody. So these are the first list of participants for 6th grade: Kailia Leeds, Naomi Chung, Ishal Hamid, Donovan KRUGER, Jonah NIEMAN, Sophie Hong, Liam Lopez, and Jack Sherry. It's great to have a team. Liam Sullivan, Ella Thorpe, Dylan NAYSAN, and Carrie Hoberg. We really appreciate your projects. So let's get into the 3rd place. So 3rd place winner for 6th grade is Dylan NAYSAN. Round of applause, Dylan. We would have you come up to the stage, but we're gonna give you all clappy hands for which sanitizer is the best. And I did hear about this, so I want to hear about your project after this meeting. Moving on into 2nd place. Who is our 2nd place winner? Oh, Donovan KRUGER. Well, that's exciting. For will temperature affect a tennis ball's bounce? And I would imagine that it probably does. So Donovan, thank you. We're so proud of you. And then let's move on to our 1st place winner, Liam Sullivan. I guess it's cut off a little bit. Experimental study to improve. Actually, Liam, do we have you here?
Yes.
Liam, we're very excited for you. Since we're cut off, you need to tell me your title and tell me a little bit about your project.
Okay, so I know it's very cut off because it's the experimental study to improve sleep latency in children using relaxation methods. And so how I did this was that I used a tracking device, and I would track my sleep over the course of several days.
Like a Fitbit or something? What kind of tracking device?
It's called Sleep Score Max.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and then I would gather the data, and I'd see like I'd use several relaxation methods, and then I'd see which one worked best in improving sleep latency. And
so what were some of those methods?
So I had the 4-7-8 breathing method. I had the relaxation I had meditation, and I had listening to music.
And so, which is best?
Well, the data confirms that listening to music worked best for me.
All right. Now, what kind of music? Are we talking like ambient rock?
No. I'm sorry. It's relaxation music. Just
okay,
like
got it.
Listening to relaxing music.
Well, Liam, everybody spoke really highly of your project. I wish I was in the judging chamber, but we would really love for you in the top 3 winners to move on to the county competition. So you got a little time to refine your project further. And I'd love to hear, maybe you could send me your soundtrack on what you're listening to, because I need some help.
Okay.
All right, round of applause for our winners for 6th grade. All right, and by the way, so what we're gonna do is we will have awards shipped out to you guys. I think they'll be available for pickup in the next few weeks at the district office. Unless, Dustin, you wanna just hand deliver them to everybody?
They can swing by the district office to pick those up.
Oh, come on. Come on, Mr. Seaman.
No song and dance.
Fine, Dr. Brady will do it.
You know what? If you can actually, if it's for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I can deliver them. I'll be happy to deliver them over the next.
All right.
Wow.
All right, that's the biggest prize.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I mean, I'm so proud of these guys. That's awesome.
Yeah. By the way, you guys have to talk to your science teachers after this and make sure they're aware of your projects. And I really encourage you, for all of you who submitted projects, to present in your classroom. All the students in your class will benefit. And I hear that there's potentially extra credit in some classes. So although I can't commit. All right, so let's move on to 7th grade. So these are our 7th grade competitors: Matthew Hinden and Perry Gallardian, Noah NIEMAN, Pega Yazdani, Martin Padilla, and Raphael Ohana. And our third place winner for 7th grade is, we need some sound effects here, Raphael Ohana, electromagnetic car prototype number 1. Wow, that looks awesome. Did you actually create this car, Raphael? All right, well, we'll keep moving on. So for 2nd place,
He's actually here. Let me unmute him real quick. Can we do that, Raphael? Do you want to unmute? Did you actually create the car? Did you create the car?
Yes, but it's not here. Yeah.
It's okay. I just want to see if this is a car that I can actually drive around Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I guess not.
My dad drove the car.
To deliver awards.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Like the what's the device that delivers food?
The Postmates.
The Postmates vehicle. All right, well, we'll move on, Raphael. I want to hear more about it after a while.
Okay.
So our 2nd place winner, Noah NIEMAN, for does the following object speed depend on the surface area of the object? And does air resistance affect the speed of an object? So I would hope it does, but I'd love to hear more. And then the 1st place winner for 7th grade, drum roll, Martin Padilla, do parrots care about the color of their food? All right, Martin. So Martin, do we have you on the call? Well, if Martin's on the call, I'm really curious if this is his parrot. All right, well, we'll give him a round of applause. And why don't we go back? So
I was one of the judges, and I can confirm that that is his parrot.
That is his parrot. All right. Yeah. And so since you were a judge, Farah, do they care about the color?
Apparently this parrot cared. Yeah, this parrot preferred white, and then black seeds, and then green seeds were the third color of choice, but white first. So interesting. Interesting.
You know, food, as long as my food's covered in cheese, I love it. So. Well, I'm just curious, since we don't have Martin here, could we go back? Do we have our second place winner here? Noah, do we have you on the call?
Yeah.
Noah, so tell me, how does air affect the fall? Like, what was the big idea with your project?
That the bigger the surface area of what you're using, like if it's a parachute, the more pressure is pushing up of the air, so the less pressure of it going down.
I see, and you were able to quantify this.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job. And then I guess, Raphael, do you have your car you could show us? All right, there it is. It's almost like a Tesla. All right.
Yeah,
well, congratulations, guys.
I had to change, but.
All right, we're going to move on to 8th grade. All right, so these are the 8th grade participants: Laura Hoberg, Ava Hollander, Tali Goldkorn, Armin Taloui, Evan Egerman, Sean Coffey, Karina Kruger, Chloe Najad, and Phoebe Cravoy. There's a lot of names on here which I've seen over many years of projects, which is really cool. So why don't we jump into our 8th grade 3rd place winner? Sean Coffey. Can paint enhanced with calcium carbonate reflect light and cool buildings? Well, I probably need that in my house since my air conditioner is broken. So, all right, congratulations, Sean. We'll go on to our 2nd place winner. Karina Kruger, Chloe Najad, and Phoebe Cravoy for student habits during virtual learning, which have probably gotten not great. So I've heard a lot about this subject. So congratulations. I got to get some clappy hands. And then for the 8th grade 1st place winner, Ava Hollander. What is the perfect size pinhole to improve distance vision? Wow. I would think looking through a pinhole would reduce my vision. Ava, are you on the call? Could you tell us more?
Yeah, so the perfect size pinhole, so I did for distant vision, and so the perfect size pinhole was under 2 millimeters, but I didn't test anyone under 1 millimeter, so I don't know the exact size.
So did you have people, did you make a pinhole and have them look and then measure it?
Yeah, so I used just the pair of clear glasses with no prescription, and I cut out a pinhole and I just had them look through it and look at an eye chart.
It seems counterintuitive to think that looking through a tiny hole would help your distance vision. Do you have any sense for why?
That's what I was going to ask.
It reduces the amount of light, so it's very similar to when you squint. It reduces the amount of light, which helps your eye focus.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So would you suggest that I drive on the 405 freeway with these?
It might help during the day, but at night it won't help because there's
Got it.
no light.
All right. That sounds awesome. Well, I look forward to you guys all moving on to the county competition. And I guess we've got Mr. Allen will bring you your prize.
I will. Please make sure they get dropped off here at my office, and then I will lick them all up and take them all out. Right. And I want to say a huge.
We'll get you a helper.
I do want to say thank you, by the way, to Samantha Thorson and for all of her hard work and putting this together, and then the committee as well. This has been kind of an unusual way to hold a science fair, and I appreciate that. The show must go on, and excellence still has to be recognized. And so I appreciate all of your guys' work on this, and the Ed Foundation for supporting this year after year after year. Thank you for continuing to value science instruction and learning in our district. So thanks, guys.
Can I make a comment? I just want to say something to Ava. Ava, keep up the good work on dealing with the eyesight. One of the hardest medical fields to get into is ophthalmology. And if you keep up with these studies, you'll be in the field of ophthalmology and a very highly recognized school. So I wish you got good luck. It seems that your interest is there, and that's a marvelous field to go into.
Thank you.
That's great. Great job. Donovan, did you have your hand raised?
Yeah. What places go into the county? Is it just first place?
No, I mean, it depends on the number of spots. We typically try to send the top 3 projects from each grade. It kind of depends on a few factors, but we'll get back to everybody just to formalize it. Okay. So usually top 3, as many as we can. So the last thing before we go into high school, I just want to say one thing that was very, I think, enlightening this year for this fair was we were always doing trifold boards, and trifold boards are great. It's fun to work with your hands, especially for the elementary kids. But based on my observation and students, you could tell me if you think otherwise. I feel like the Google slide approach, the virtual approach here was very powerful. Before we go into high school, any of the students want to tell me how they felt it was presenting their projects with the slides versus the trifold boards? And feel free to unmute yourself.
Yes, I thought we had a lot more control over how we presented our experiments. I feel like it's sort of limiting in the way that you need to make a poster, but if you actually have, all the technology you can use, then that's going to sort of escalate how your presentation looks. So yeah, I like this.
That's good. I think that's probably, we'll probably stick to that format for future years. So we'll see what that looks like for an in-person presentation. Well, all right. So we're going to wrap this up with our high school projects. Rebecca, I believe you have the next slide here. Rebecca, it's so good to have a tech person running this so I can just talk. All right, so our Beverly Hills High School participants, Aaron Scholler and Sophia Manavi, Odelia Chauffet, Leila Kashani, Rachel Cohen, Diane Song, Nicole ZOKAIM, and Jacob Getty. Thank you for your projects, guys. I know it's hard to deliver this on top of everything. And for a third place, our group project from Layla and Odelia and Rachel. Give them a round of applause. So this was effects of the pH level of compost on the germination of snap peas. That sounds interesting. We'll move on to second place. Nicole ZOKAIM, Behind the Brain, a research presentation on the subconscious mind. All right, round of applause. Thank you. And our first place winner from the high school, Jacob Getty, Brain Lateralization Study. Wow, well, we got some similarities in projects there. Jacob, do we have you on the call?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your project, Jacob. I know you've done projects in the past, so it's great to see you coming back. What?
Right, yeah, great to see you too. So my project, or I'd say such study, confirms that brain lateralization occurs across both cerebral hemispheres, and it works together through the corpus callosum. And my study basically refuted the common left brain and right brain theory that the majority of the population that doesn't have neurological education believes in.
So when you say brain lateralization, what do you mean?
I mean that both sides of your brain, even though they're specifically like they function better at certain functions, they can work together in unison to complete daily tasks.
And so how do you prove that?
Well, so what I did is I gave participants a list of one-syllable words that I got from actually a UCLA professor, and I explained that in my presentation. And what I did is I asked them to recognize a common hidden phrase within that. And part of your brain, your left brain, is great at it's great at language and understanding, while your right brain kind of is better at recognizing words than your left brain. And when your brain would pursue such a function, it would have to use both sides in order to be successful. And the fact that it did means that your brain works together through its corpus callosum, which connects both hemispheres.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, successfully works.
That's amazing. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I've only got one side of my brain working every day. So maybe you can figure out wait for both sides of my brain to work every day. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for your project. We really hope you'll take this on to county. And I think that's about it. You guys, I want to give everybody one more huge round of applause for your projects.
Yes, let's just unmute and give applause, please, since they didn't get to be in person.
First.
Yay!
Yay! Awesome job, guys.
Yay! Proud of all of you.
All right. Well, Dustin or Kevin or Farah or Dr. Bragi, do we have any other comments before we wrap things up?
Yep. So for all the participants, thank you again for participating and congratulations to all the winners. Ms. Thorson and myself will be following up to every participant and providing the feedback from the judges over the next day. So that way you'll be able to see your scores and your feedback. In addition, we'll be reaching out to you to help continue coaching you on to LA County. So look for emails from myself and Ms. Thorson over the next day or so.
Yeah, and I believe that the county competition is in about 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. So we'll get back with the exact date and some of the deadlines, the submission deadlines.
Absolutely. And some of the participants have already submitted to the county. So we appreciate that as well. So we will see everyone soon. And thank you guys very much for attending.
Thanks, guys.